I'd like to share a vulnerable story and the wisdom that I gained through it. About 15 years ago, when I was at university, I learned of a new technology, and this was Bitcoin.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay, what's the second best? There is no second best.
And I didn't recognize it as an investment opportunity at the time, and there are some regrets that I had from it. Me and my friends bought some and spent it online, and we had a good time with it. And I had an opportunity to get even more if I pressed play on the collector on my computer to get them. Fast forward a few years later, I learned that it was probably a good investment strategy, and I earned an outrageous amount of money with it. But I was young and I was naive, and I didn't cash in soon enough, and it crashed and I lost 95% of it. And I learned a few things along the way, and I'll get into that in a moment. I then set rules, goals, because I didn't have them before, that when I meet these, I'll be happy and I will cash out. And those opportunities came again. But when I reached those numbers, what I found is I creatively found a way in my own mind to move the goalpost. It was no longer getting to that number in dollars. It was now getting to that number in pounds, which meant I needed a little bit more. It was no longer getting to that number in pounds. It was now getting to that number in an amount of gold. And I kept moving these goalposts, even though I met it. The horizon isn't a destination, it's a mirage. You can never quite get to there. And then suddenly it started crashing. And as it was going down, the mindset changed. I thought, oh, if I just get back to what I was last week, I'll cash out and I'll be happy. And that kept going, and I kept losing more and more and more and more. Until I lost everything because I took too much risk. And in that process, I transformed. I transformed from an investor into a gambler, subtly, carefully, over time, but I did. Seneca said it isn't the man who has too little, but the man who wants more who is actually poor. And when everything went to zero, I realized some really important things that I'm still in the process of unraveling. And thank you for your ears, because this is part of my process of unraveling these things. And hopefully some of the wisdom that I gained will save you some pain in the future, or certainly when you start to go through similar things yourself, you can reflect on the words and have it ring in your mind again to save you some struggle. I looked around and I realized that not much of my life has actually changed. What had actually changed was this potential. I had potential wealth, I had a potential future that I had identified myself with, and that was gone, and suddenly I felt lost, I felt vulnerable. But I still had a roof over my head, I still had food in my belly, I still had friends, I had family, I had love. I had health and fitness, and I had a wealth of things. But the wealth was no longer the number. And that's the thing, it's the number. The number was the trap, the dopamine-fueled excitement thing that I was chasing. I found myself over 6 years drawn to my phone, seeing if the number had gone up and was green, or gone down and it was red. And depending on this would dictate whether I had a good day or not. And this wasn't healthy. And I kind of knew it at the time, but I was still addicted to it. My self-worth was no longer defined by the things I had control over. It was by chance, by chaos. And when your self-worth is defined by chaos, you are vulnerable. The entire foundation of yourself is unsteady. And when you're worried about this, you no longer have the allocation within your brain available to be creative, because your time and attention and your focus is elsewhere. We tell ourselves that we're buying freedom, but what we're actually financing is just a more expensive cage, which is an irony, because I quit my job because I had the money in order to be creative and to do things like this, to teach you online, to share my experiences. But because I was comfortable and also distracted and worried by the number, I didn't do it. And now I am here without the money, far more creative, a bit more of a fire under me. You do not actually own your obsessions. Your obsessions own you. And the tax on this is the mental bandwidth you need to spend in order to maintain it. When the number was going down, I was in despair and expecting there to be far more despair if I ever got to zero. But when I got there, I found the emotion wasn't despair anymore. It was relief. And that was fascinating to me because it felt much better. But I required to go through that entire process to realize it. And that was uncomfortable because I was rich, but I wasn't wealthy. And this is the first bit of wisdom that I learned from it, is there is a key distinction between wealth and riches. Money is not wealth. It can get you wealth, but it isn't wealth itself. Wealth is within the wisdom, it's within the community and the connection, the relationships, is within your body and your fitness and your mind and your self-sense of worth. It's within your experiences and your learning. Wealth isn't the number, but those numbers can be used to get it. There's an irony to this, in that all these lessons and wisdoms were already told to me, but I didn't know it until I experienced it. And there's another layer of irony in that lesson there, that you're not able to know the wisdom until you experience it, was also taught to me. And yet here I am. And it got me thinking, how can we gain the wisdom through experience with the minimal amount of suffering and discomfort? Perhaps we need to set ourselves up to fail incrementally, often, but in small little chunks, so that we don't have to go through the big ones when they come round. And oh, they'll come round.